Now, Pavarotti was a good friend.
Hello, welcome to The Revealing. I'm your host, Pavarotti. I'm here to discuss the Idaho 4 case. As a disclaimer, this channel, it's for entertainment purposes. These are my opinions. I'm not here to slander. May speculate, but let's get started. In today's video, what I would like to do is take another look at the Papa Roger posts. But as we take the look this time, we're going to vet it out. And we're going to vet it out using the facts that we now have come to understand. And I think when we do that, a clear picture of things comes to light. It is my strong opinion that the Papa Rogers post was the FBI. And there's a very good reason why I feel that way. Now, I won't go into all those reasons, but I will just touch on just one or two in this one. As we look at those Papa Rogers posts, and we're going to go through those. And I'm not going to go through all of the responses to the posts, but I want to go through all the posts that he posted. Okay? Because there is a reason for each and every one of those posts, I do believe. And as we go through them, I mean, there's about 30 of them. But as we go through them, we're going to notice the dates on these posts. And as we discuss them, I would like for you to keep a couple of key dates in mind. The first date would be December 15th. Because on December 15th, we all know what happened. That was the date they unalived Bryan Kohberger. Then I would like for you to keep the date of December 20th in mind. Because now we all know what happened on December 20th. That is when they officially got Kohberger's name at that MPD and started to investigate him. So if this is a Fed poking and prodding, hoping that the assailants will respond to their posts, then those dates would be important in determining the manner of the post that they were putting out, because different information became available at different times and they were searching for different information at different times. And I think once we go through this, you're going to have your eyes opened to what Papa Rogers was really for. But before we do that, let's go ahead and let's get the opinion of the star in this show and just see what he thinks about things. Now, Mr. Kohberger, I just have 3 questions for you that's on everybody's mind. Question number 1, very important. Are you Papa Rogers? I didn't think so. Okay, question number 2. Do you think that Get a Clue was Papa Rogers? Well, I think it's possible too, because Papa Rogers, I believe, is definitely a Fed, and he is most certainly one. So he could have been the same one. That seems right along his skill set. Question 3. Do you think it was a Fed that was Papa Rogers? There you have it, folks. So let's take a look at those posts. Okay, look at the dates as we go through here. Here's November 30th. And notice the structure of the questions. Of the evidence released, the murder weapon has been consistent as a large fixed blade knife. This leads me to believe they found the sheath. This evidence was released prior to the autopsies. Okay, remember, this is November 30th. In the investigation, they had nothing at this point. So this is designed to put out some information that only the perpetrator would know to either make him nervous about what they found on the sheath or get him to respond with a positive reaction, agreeing with the fact that the sheath was likely, so they could try to identify somebody. Okay, December 1st. This is on the high side of the house. They found evidence here. Likely it is blood dripping from the unalivers, and they put S. Either they fled through this area, or they were parked there. This being the most strategic entrance point to the house. It shows planning. He's looking either for confirmation or to start making the perps nervous, because they're letting them know that they're starting to put together the investigation. And they know that it's more than one by the way they word it. And they know the entrance point that they took into the house. December 2nd. Did the unalivers, and they want to keep putting that S in there, drive or walk to and from the scene? Thoughts? On this, I want you to notice the question marks. Everything's posed as a question. It's important later. But it's clear that on December 2nd, they really believe that the Elantra was used in this. So this is designed to get a response from the actual perpetrator with the correct knowledge of what took place based on what they were thinking happened. This is December 8th, and it says Google Trends show the search history for the house by date. Lots of Thursday activity. What do we think? Now this one is clearly designed to make the perp nervous, because they obviously believe that he was searching out the victims in the house on Thursday based on the internet trends. Okay, December 8th, and remember, from an FBI perspective, they have an idea of why the unaliver chose a knife, but they're wanting to verify it with a response. Why the unaliver choose a knife as the weapon of choice? If somebody responds with the correct answer, they're a potential suspect. Again, on December 8th, why did the unaliver choose that house over all the others in the area? Remember, it's my contention that they knew what this was about. It was retaliation hit. So, looking for the right answer here, they're just fishing. December 8th, I feel like the white car isn't relevant. Well, we know on December 8th they didn't feel that way, so once again, they're just fishing for information. Now, this is again on December 8th, and I feel like at this point, I think they think that they may have the perp in their responses to their questions. That's why the activity is increased on December 8th. And then they place this, thoughts on this body placement. And they give schematics showing victims in certain areas. Now, it shows Xana in the bedroom and Ethan in the living room. If we're to believe the PCA, we know that everything was correct on his schematic except Ethan and Xana were both in the bedroom. Now, this would be a ploy to do everything almost correct except put Ethan in the wrong spot. If anybody responded to this and said, no, I think Ethan was in the bedroom as well, then it would narrow down their suspect list on people responding to these posts. On December 11th, and we know they have the Amazon warrant back at this time, so you notice the question is, why was a knife the weapon of choice? They're trying to figure out who they can match up to the Amazon list of who actually purchased that K-bar knife. 4 weeks in, December 11th, 4 weeks in and no suspects. What is the motive? Well, they know what the real motive is at this point. It's retaliation for a drug hit. So once again, they're fishing. This is interesting on December 12th. What do we think the height and weight of the unaliver? Well, that would be something that nobody would know except for the officers who interviewed Dylan Mortensen. She gave them an estimated height and weight. So once again, they're taking information they already know and they're fishing for the right answer. Now we're on December 12th, just 2 days before Kopaka is unalived. So chances are they're investigating Kopaka now, and that's why this question is the unaliver still in Moscow, Idaho right now? Because they don't ask any questions that they don't already know the answers to. December 13th, how did the unaliver leave the scene? Did he clean up at all? Again, they don't ask questions they don't know the answer to, so they must know if the unaliver cleaned up or not. December 13th, not a new post for me, but still very relevant. How long was the unaliver in the house? Remember, at this point, they put together everything they can on the statements, the texts from the roommates, and the Elantra, so they know, or they think they know, that the unaliver was in the house for between 8 to 10 minutes, and they're fishing for the right answer. December 13th. Now, at this point, I think that they believe that one of the perpetrators are actually responding to their posts. One knife and 4 people. The unaliver took a big risk. The knife could have easily broken off or become ineffective after 1 or 2 unalivings. Are we sure there is only 1 knife involved? They know there's more than 1 knife involved, so they're looking for the correct answer once again. December 13th again. If the door was left open or the heat wasn't on, are we sure of the timeline of deaths? It was 28 degrees and overcast the night of the unalivings. Again, law enforcement at this point thinks they have nailed down the time of the unalivings, so they're fishing for the right answer again. December 15th, the date of the unaliving was chosen on purpose. Thoughts? I'll let you figure that one out. Again, December 15th. Notice how these questions have all changed. Any known internet suspect has been eliminated at this point, period, no question mark. Fight me, period, no question mark. So everything's changed. Notice the punctuation going forward. Now it's December 15th. They've unalived Kopaka. They think they know things they didn't know before. So day 32 and no motive, same as day 1. So they're trying to put whoever it is at ease after unaliving Kopaka that they don't have any info on him. Now, 5 days go by with nothing. So when they unalive Kopaka, they hit it hard. Now, on December 20th, they have Kohberger's name in the investigation. So look at this one. Day 37. Do we think LE has a motive yet? Now they're trying to poke at him. Again, December 20th. These are all used to let the second perp, they believe is a second perp, know that they know things. A knife is a very risky weapon if you know you're going to unalive 4 people. Do we think the killer also had another weapon, such as a stun gun or knife? Or did they not know what they would encounter? You see, the very next post, same day, Ethan didn't live at the crime scene. Very possible the unaliver didn't know he was there. Thoughts? So they firmly believe that Ethan wasn't a target, and that's why they're pushing this stuff in this direction. They're letting him know that they know what went down. Again on the 20th. And they know at this point that that car is not Kohberger's because of the FBI's identification. So they're poking at him. Did the unaliver drive, walk, or some combination of both to the scene? Letting him know they know it's not the car. Now, the 21st. I know this won't be popular, but this is where I think the victims were found. And they post that same schematic of showing Ethan in the living room. And they're doing that for a reason, and the next post will explain it. Same day, 21st. Did someone post actual evidence showing where the bodies were found? They're hoping that he'll take Ethan and put him in that bedroom with Xana. Last one on the 23rd. This one is absolutely what they call poking the bear. And you'll see it says, regardless of what has been released, I believe this is a sexually motivated crime. See, he's never posted anything like this of his opinion. It's always been in the form of a question or even a statement that's a question. But now he's going to give a strong opinion, and he's going to say it's sexually motivated, that is poking the bear because they know it's not sexually motivated. Now they poked the bear, December 22nd, day 39. The unaliver is not in the victim's immediate circle. They're letting him know that they know that. One last shot at a response on December 22nd. The unaliver is not a student. Thoughts? Then the last one, before they actually arrest him, and this is his last post as a question. The unaliver has a sexual dysfunction. Thoughts? That is just them slapping him in the face. Now, he had a lot of responses, but I don't want to put them on here, but I am going to point out this one because I think this other comment to his is the dead giveaway. He says, this entire board is assumptions, and you look at the response underneath that. Papa Roger, he uses the word board. Not sure if it's him. Sounds like something someone in their 40s or 50s would say, but maybe I'm wrong. No, you're not wrong. That federal agent is probably in his 40s or 50s and would use words like board. Once again, you see the reason that I've been able to predict things in this case so far that have actually come true, and I hate to keep tooting my own horn or beating a dead horse, but I'll give you an example. Way back when they had the hearing on the survey from Dr. Edelman, and Bill Thompson got up there in the court and he read off all those questions that they were asking in that survey to the Latah citizens. He listed off 10 or 11 questions, and he made a statement that at least one of those were false and at least one or two of them were inadmissible in court. Never said which ones they were, but I immediately put out a video and I listed all those questions, and then I went through and I picked out two that would be inadmissible in court, and that would be the Latah citizens, and the students, were they in fear until Kohberger was caught? That was obviously ridiculous. That would not be admissible in court, somebody's fear. Vindicated on that one. And the other one I said wouldn't be inadmissible is, did Bryan Kohberger follow any of the victims online? Well, there's reasons why that one would be inadmissible. But then the one that was completely false was, did Kohberger stalk any of the victims? So when I did that video, I listed out those questions and I went through and I said, okay, this one's inadmissible, this one's inadmissible, and this is the false statement. Did Kohberger stalk any of those victims? Watched other content creators. They went through and they did the same thing as I did. Their predictions wasn't quite as good as what I was able to predict. And I didn't predict it correct because I am a Swami. I predicted it correct because of the way that I feel this entire case went down and the things that I had investigated up until that point. Those things told me that, of course, he didn't stalk the victims because this isn't a stalking matter. And when the court hearing came about in the next couple of weeks, everything that I predicted was verified. Kohberger didn't stalk the victims, and whether he followed them online or not, that would not be admissible in court. And certainly people's feelings of fear wouldn't be admissible in court. And he verified the stalking in the hearing, put out in the court docs a few days later verifying that following victims online is not admissible. So folks, let me tell you this, if following victims online is not admissible, then I seriously doubt that getting something off of the internet that may cause prejudice to the client over, potentially following people online, that certainly is not going to be grounds for saying that your attorney is not defending you properly. People be freaking out over some stuff they don't need to freak out about. But I digress. In the next video, I've got another one I'm gonna put out today. Not even gonna mention what it's about. Oh yeah, I guess I will. Okay, so everybody watches certain content creators. Some of them were very open-minded, and then all of a sudden they went straight guilter. And we've all seen it happen. And a lot of the speculation has been around, maybe Steve G got to him and told him something that convinced him. And I believe that to be the case, because all those people that have done that have admitted that they are in contact with Steve G. And I wonder what that information that he gave them was that convinced them so strongly. Well, in the next video, I'm going to go over that information, and we're going to discuss it, and I'll show you why it's a non-issue. But until then, please like and subscribe to the channel, post your comments, thoughts, criticisms, and until then, Pavarotti, he's out.